We are finally here. Let me go ahead and go live. It's Friday. It's Friday. I'm looking at the wrong camera. It's Friday. Hey. Hey, it's Friday. Another edition of Travel the World as a Speaker. It's your Friday edition. And I have to let you know that we are about to go into a 1-week hiatus. We've changed the schedule to do 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So that's what we're about to do. We've been going for the 3 weeks, so now we're going to take a week off just to get all caught up and everything, so I can actually go and find some more of my travel stories. But today we're going to talk about how to land your first international speaking gig. For those of you who have not spoken internationally, I'm going to give you excuse me, a couple of tips so that you can land your first speaking gig. Of course, this is Travel the World as a Speaker. I'm your host, Phylecia Jones, and we do the two things I love, and that is talking about travel and talking about speaking and how you can leverage speaking so that you can travel. I know, it's that simple these days. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my different scene here on the YouTube, because I'm coming to you live here on YouTube and on Instagram, and my little scene switcher is kind of broken today. So I got to do all these stuff manual. I know, like old school manual stuff. The horror. All right, so let's go ahead. What are we doing first? I usually come and talk about a travel story. And right now I'm just in like travel envy mode. I am trying to figure out where I want to go next. Unfortunately, we're kind of not going to be traveling during the summer because it's a little crowded in the campgrounds. We can't really find a spot to go to because we want to travel for a long time. So we're going to hang tight for the summer, and then we're going to go out and, hey, Melissa, hope, how are you doing on Instagram? We're going to stay home for the summer and then go out in the fall when everybody goes back to whatever it is that they do in the fall, so that people like me can enjoy down season. I'm so excited. And yeah, I have been like doing my Pinterest boards for all these travel vacations. Oh, trust me, when we get out there, oh, it's going to be on, because and I'm not just like, we're not doing the, I'm just going to travel to see family. Nope. Or I'm just going to travel to go like Disney. Trust me, we are going all in. Because we need to celebrate a whole year of not going anywhere, for real. I mean, we went out in the RV, but you know what I mean. I'm like, my requirement now, other than when we do our camping and RV trips, my requirement for our next like international, it's not even international, the next time I get on a plane, the requirement is infinity pool. That is the requirement for wherever I'm going next. It needs to have an infinity pool. Bonus points if I can walk from my bed to the infinity pool, like that. So if you got any ideas, if you have any recommendations, send them to me. I've been eyeballing this place in St. Lucia. Oh, yeah, you walk from the bed to the infinity pool, over the ocean, to looking at the mountains. Yeah. Telling you, the vacation budget is going to be lit, because we have been saving a whole lot in our vacation budget. And if you have not figured out a vacation budget, this is just a special account just for when you're going on vacation, and ours is ready. It's ready. All right, so let's go ahead. You get to hear me talk about my dreams. I know, Melissa Hope, thank you. I have been in travel envy mode, but we're going to talk about how to land your first international speaking gig today on the show. Of course, if you are looking for speaking opportunities, come and check us out at iFind.com. And I have to tell you that our speaking opportunities for international, they're a little short right now, because the rest of the world is still kind of trying to get back right. But that's okay. But they will be coming in the next year. I'm getting word out of Europe. A lot of events are starting to come back. Asia, not so much right now. They're still kind of going through a few things. And one country in particular is going through a lot of things. So my love for all the folks in India. I hope everybody gets out of this okay. So we're kind of starting to see a little bit of international kind of coming back and forth. But it's going to come soon. And if you are ready to do an international gig next year, I want you to pay attention to these tips, because next year will be here before you know it. I mean, it's almost Christmas. Seriously. It's still snowing here in Colorado, so it might be Christmas. All right. Your first international speaking gig. The first thing that you need to do is figure out what you want to talk about and who you want to talk to. Yeah. Figure out your audience, figure out what you want to talk about. Do a little bit of research, because as an American, I will say that sometimes going to speak in a different country, the audience is very different. Not everybody is American. Who knew? No, seriously, everybody isn't American, and everybody doesn't think like Americans. Yeah, we should figure that out. So they're going to react to you very differently, because I will have to say, on stage, us Americans, we're like, yay, how is everybody doing today? And then you go to these audiences, they're like, yeah. So make sure you do a little bit of research on the audience that you want to get in front of, and make sure you have your talk down and who you want to talk to. So make sure that is ready to go. The second thing is, now here's a thing that you can do when it comes to an international gig. Find a conference that is here, typically based in the United States, and see if they're going to leave the country. You'll be surprised that a lot of events will bounce around in the United States, bounce around to different places in the North American continent. So you might be able to find a conference that moves around, and every few years they leave the country. So one of the conferences I can think of right now, and it may not be what for you, but I'm just going to tell you. So like Toastmasters International, they do their speaker contests and all kinds of things, and they bounce around, in the North American continent. So they'll go up to Canada, come back to the United States. It's mainly in the United States, but don't be surprised if they do things in other places. The same thing when it comes to conferences. Sometimes there are conferences that have legs in different parts of the world. So it may have its main conference here, but they'll have little smaller conferences in different parts of the world. So start looking at those. I know you might be thinking, like, do I need to learn another language? If you speak another language, that's great. So now you can go and look for conferences in different languages. But if you speak English, for most of the events that I have been a part of, and of course there's so many events, usually they've all been English speaking, and they're not like native English speaking audiences, but typically they find the default language for the event, and it's going to be in English. So you really won't have an issue with that if you find an English speaking event. Now, if you're trying to go to a Spanish speaking event and you don't speak Spanish, you're going to have some problems. Just saying. So you want to start looking at conferences that either will bounce around throughout the North American conference or continent, or find a conference that has different legs in different parts of the world, and so you can kind of get involved with them. Sometimes they'll have a national conference, say in like the UK, but then they'll have the North American conference here, or they'll have an Asia conference in Asia. You see what I'm saying, right? So you might want to look for a conference like that. The third thing, so the first thing is get your talk together, figure out who you want to talk to. Second, start looking at the conferences that move around. The third thing is make some friends that are international, to you. Meaning they don't live in the United States. Start making friends in different countries. The beautiful thing about the internet is that we can go and make friends everywhere. And you'll be surprised how making a friend in a different country and then being very bold about, hey, do you know anybody who's looking for a speaker at an event? Especially if the friends you make are business owners, speakers, that helps too. I will have to say my first international speaking gig actually came from me asking a friend that I met online. Someone I met some years ago through Twitter because I thought they were cool. Eventually met them in the United States in person at a conference, became really good friends. When he went back home, just, stayed in contact, supported his business and things like that. And, and then, you get these random emails like, hey, how can I help you? And I said, hey, do you know somebody where you live that needs a speaker? And he came back and said yes. And so that's how I got my first international gig. So make friends. Make friends that can possibly, you never know. I'm not saying that all of your friends can get you on stage, but it never hurts. It never hurts to ask, and it never hurts to make friends, especially other business owners that are speakers as well, or are in the world where they go to events. So I will be, and here's another example of that connection, because I know these people and I've made friends with certain people, and you know how you get into like little circles of people. I guess I've gotten into a circle now because I will be doing a virtual event that is out of the UK. This will be my fourth or fifth event, two live, three virtual, in the last couple of years, out of the UK. And that's just from being a part of a community, and, and people hear about you and you get some name recognition. So I'm popular with at least 6 people in the UK, just 6. So start making some friends in different countries. And you'll be surprised when you start asking, like, hey, I want to come see you. Do you know anybody who's having a conference that may need a speaker? And it is weird. Some people will really go out of your way to help you. I have found that when people are near you, say like, your business friends that are here in the United States, or your business friends that are in the same state with you, they will help you. They will help you, but they won't like break their back, but break their back for you. But when you have a friends in a different country, like, hey, I really want to come see you. It's like they'll pull out all the stops just to like, yes, we will make this happen because I want to see you so bad. So make sure you make some friends. The other thing is, still start looking for opportunities that expand outside of the United States. I'm talking mainly to United States people, but if you're in a different country, look for events that are expanding outside of where you are. I will say that the United States, outside of like the UK and Eastern Asia, right now they are not having events because they're still going through a whole bunch of stuff with the pandemic. But United States, for those of you who do not live in the United States, I mean, there are, when the world was operating in what was kind of okay. Hey, I am Sheena Dean. How you doing? When the world was operating in functional mode, I guess somewhat functional mode, there were over 5,000 plus events here in the United States. So 5,000 plus events. It came out to about a little over 1.9 million events every year in the United States when it comes to conferences. That was about 5,000 every day. So if you are in a different country and you're trying to get to the United States, there is an event for you. Over in the UK, it's like 1.4 million events annually, with about 4,000 events happening every day. And of course, the rest of the world is kind of operating like that. So we're looking at about a couple of 100,000 events happening every day around the world. So we can definitely find an event for you. So I really just want you to start expanding out. But remember, pay attention to your audience and make sure your talk can fit for an international audience, okay? That's the biggest thing. Make sure it can fit for an international audience. You don't have to like overthink it, because everybody's going to know that you are who you are. I have a dear friend who is out of the UK, was doing an event here in the United States, and wanted to kind of, make sure all of his words are right. And I said, you know what, be yourself, because the moment you start speaking, everybody's going to know you're British. So don't worry about all that. And trust me, the moment you start speaking in a different country, they know you're American. Oh, they know in like 3 seconds. All right, so those are just a couple of tips. I mean, like bare minimum tips when it comes to looking for your first international gig. Make sure you understand your talk. Make sure you understand your audience, and make sure your talk can fit to an international audience. Start making sure it fits, okay? The second thing is look for conferences that move back and forth between, say, where you live and in different countries, and or find a conference that has different legs in part of the world, so that you can kind of go back and forth in their conferences. One perfect example for my tech people, and it's not really tech, for my tech business web developers, is WordPress. WordPress has conferences all over the world. And they are so friendly. I have been a part of 4 of them in 4 different states. I have not traveled outside of the United States for WordPress, but they have been. It's WordCamp, actually. It's WordCamp. Nicest people ever, and you will just so enjoy yourself. So look at events like that happen all over the world. And then finally, make some friends. Make some friends that are outside of your typical box. Make some international friends. Make some business friends. And just see what's going on in their part of the world. So that's all I have for you. It is Friday evening. It is not snowing here. Yay. Maybe. I don't know. The rain came through, so it might snow again. Take care of yourself. Have an amazing evening. I'm going to talk, since I don't have all my buttons here, I'm going to have to do this manually. So I'm going to have to log off here on Instagram first. So I am Sheena Dean. Thank you so very much. And Miss Melise Mayhope, thank you so very much. Take care of yourself. This live will be saved. And if it's not saved, it is also here on YouTube. You can come to our channel, check the link in the bio here on Instagram, ifindyoutclothes.com/YouTube. Come to our YouTube channel, and this will be there. This will always be there. It'll always be here on how to land your first international speaking gig. And of course, if you have any more questions about international speaking gigs, I will talk about this again. So I'm going to log off here on Instagram. You all have an amazing Friday night. Don't party too hard. It ain't worth it. Trust me. I can't stay up late anymore. I did an all-nighter the other night. Oh my gosh. I can only do those like once every 3 to 5 years now. I'm too old to stay up all night. All right, so take care of yourself. If you get an international speaking gig, let me know. Bye. All right, everybody here on YouTube, thank you so very much. Have an amazing day. I will be here tomorrow. As soon as I find my mouse, I will be here. Bye.